evil.
I'm necessary evil.
No.
Hello everybody. I know that a lot has currently gone on in the world today, you know, all the drama with different studios and whatnot, but I'm not really gonna bring my thoughts on those or talk about them or do any videos on them because I just feel like with the current situations, I feel like they're gonna blow over. So that's just the end of that for those. And to anybody who asks if I am going to put my 2 cents on it in a video, the answer to that is no. So with that said, I'm going to focus on something else. I'm going to focus on Batman. Currently, in the comic books in Tom King's run, it's not good. Currently the run is just not ideal. Like, it started out pretty strong, but then it just seemed like at some point it just started to drop. The quality dropped, then things got crazy, and then it's like no longer a good deal. Like, it got so bad that they shortened Tom King's run on the Batman story to 85 issues, meaning after 85, he is not going to be writing. He is going to be doing a 12-part series on Batman and Catwoman and the Phantasm being brought into the DC Comics. So that should be interesting to see what happens in there. But yeah, Tom King is not really too great now. Now, I never really heard about this guy, to my knowledge. Like, I don't normally keep track of comic book writers or anything, okay, because there's a lot of them. They all have their own different styles, their different takes on the characters and whatnot, and you know, it's like movies, okay? You can't remember everything. But I remember Tom King especially just because of the fact that he was the one that was gonna, supposedly, we believed he was gonna be the one that was gonna break up that ridiculous superhero thing that just kind of permeates throughout stuff, where superheroes could not get married. You know, like, that was kind of one of those things. Like, I remember there was a comic book that said that, like, Batman couldn't be married because he needs misery or some shit like that. And that was the thing. And I remember Batwoman couldn't get a marriage, although that was like a different thing. But it still had a very, very heavy effect, since like Batwoman was like their fucking epic like lesbian character, their flagship character. But then the quality of the stories went down, and well, she's not really too good anymore. Yeah. But that's a story for a whole another 10 years. We're gonna focus on Batman. Now, Batman comics have been, you know, consistently like on top for the most part. You know, number one in the reading thing and all that. Although the last time I checked, he was not on the number one spot anymore. The number one spot went to Hulk. More specifically, the Immortal Hulk comic, which I should recommend. That's a good read. So, if you enjoy interesting topics, weird imagery, and a very different, in-depth look at the Hulk, I would go read the Immortal Hulk series. It's an ongoing thing, and I swear you will not regret it. But yeah, like the Tom King and all that, and people are kind of saying that there's just a lot of reasons for Batman comic sales not being there. Some would try to blame Batman Damned because of a scene in it where you see graphic nudity if you really look. But the thing about that is that's not the reason, because that wasn't Tom King. That Batman Damned is a comic book that is part of the DC Black Label, where DC is giving artists and comic book creators, a pen and just saying, hey, look, here's a pen, you can pick a character, you can do whatever story you want with them, no limits, because it's not going to be a part of the main universe, so therefore, have fun. And, that's how it is. Like, we've gotten a couple of them out already, and there's still some that are in the works, and I'm enjoying the results, But yeah, some people want to try to blame that, but I think it's just more of Tom King. You see, Tom King kind of has a problem sometimes. When he tries to do long stories, there's sometimes gaps in it. Like, you read, say you're reading, example, issue, I'm just gonna pull a random number out of here, like 65 or something, and you end on a big old cliffhanger, okay? And, like, all this crazy thing happens. Then, you're on 66, and you're not in the cliffhanger, you're in an entirely different spot, and you're kind of wondering, well, why did you waste all my time with all the stuff that happened in 65, and now we're on something different in 66? And then you're thinking, okay, maybe 67 will come back to it. No, it doesn't. In fact, it doesn't come back to it at all. The way that the story recently played out was like if you were watching a TV show and you felt like you missed an episode. Like there's something, it's like something happened but you didn't see it. And it makes you feel like hold on, did I miss something? Did I miss an issue? But in reality, you didn't. This was one of the more recent signs that Tom King's writing just wasn't doing too well for Batman. And, and I want to talk about where it started. Like, when did it start to do a decline? I would say it starts right about Batman issue 39. That's when it really started. See, because after Batman issue, I believe it was 35, I think, when Selina Kyle accepts the proposal by Batman in issue 35, things go on. Like, they do a bunch of different things that, like, show off. Let's start out with things like they do a double date with Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and then they bring in then comes along issue 39. Now, to kind of shorten it out, basically, there's this alternate dimension, and there's a bunch of monsters in it, and there's this one guy who's, like, an ultimate badass, who's, like, always there to protect him, okay? And time works completely differently. Like, minutes in the normal universe means, like, years in there. But the thing is, you don't age there, so, it's not too bad there in that regard. And he had a favor with Batman and Wonder Woman, okay? That he would get some time off one particular time of the year so he could go and spend time with his loved ones, okay? That's reasonable. And the thing is why Batman doesn't have anybody with other superpowers like Superman or something is because that universe has a strange effect with superpowers. Like, it doesn't quite work. So it has to be other people like Wonder Woman and Batman, who can handle themselves in hand-to-hand combat and not rely on, like, superpowers or whatnot. Or at least just stuff that involves laser beams or shit like that. Okay? And that's fine. So they go off to do that, and Selina is off watching this guy, just to go make sure everything's up on the up and up. But then, well, he's like the guy is like trying to take more time, and then he mentions this whole thing to her, like how minutes or so basically means like months to years there, and of course her of course, you start to see something, like, and it even says so in like some of the panels, like, it starts to hint off at something, like, you're like, okay, you realize something, like, there's only other monsters there, and you got Batman and Wonder Woman alone in a cave. They're the only two people there. You start to see what I'm going with here. It's like suddenly things get a little bit dicey. It's like, oh, you're thinking, oh god, they're gonna do it. They're gonna make it where Batman kind of steps down on Selina, and that Wonder Woman might be a homewrecker. Like, you're thinking, are they gonna do it? And you know, me being really demented, I was like thinking, I mean, are they gonna do it? Like, I'm kind of wondering. I'm like actually curious about this. I'm like, is this gonna happen? Because it's like, it's putting out all these hints. It's like, okay, and then at the end of the comic, it's like they're all getting close, and it's like the final like image is like they are like nearly close to kissing, and you know the comic ends, and then you have to wait about another month or so, because that's how it is. You only get a comic book a month. So it's like, okay, you gotta wait a while on that one. Alright. So you're waiting and waiting and waiting. Issue 40 comes around. First thing they do, they're about to, but then they're like, nah. And then it was just like, it was just like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, Tom King, you fucking put that all up on us. But, of course, you chicken out. It's like, if you're gonna put up something, fucking follow through with it. I would have wanted something like that, maybe. Like, it would have made sense for Batman to try to, like, have to make up for Selina. Like, I mean, fuck, he was in there for, like, 30 years. I mean, it was technically, like, a couple hours in the real world, but in there it was 30 years or so. A lot can happen. I would forgive the man for that. It's 30 years. He may be Batman, but he's a dude, and it's Wonder Woman. Like, who the fuck wouldn't? I would have been fine. Then you could have had a whole story where he's like trying to make up for stuff he's done, and you know, and it would have been an interesting story. But no, that's checking out because fucking Tom King was scared shitless of the fans who had immediate backlash on him. Like, not just fans of Batman, but fans of Wonder Woman who didn't want to have Wonder Woman be a homewrecker. So then that happens, okay? Then that goes on. You know, and then a couple issues later, things get a little bit crazy. Get a little bit, nothing too spectacular or nuts that happens there. A few things, a little bit. But then we're building up to the wedding. Now, when Tom King started this, he said that at issue 50, they would be married. And, you know, there's like a whole build-up to it, okay? Because there's like multiple comic books, like one-off, spin-off ones of like multiple characters of Batman's like little collection of like rogues and fellow heroes, all reacting to the party, having different little stories, like a lead up to it. You know, there's variant covers of the wedding thing going on to comic book retailers and all that, and it looks like it's gonna happen. It's gonna be a thing. But then issue 50 comes out, and what did they do? They done fucked it up, okay? Because they decided to have a little private ceremony thing, okay? So, Bruce has got a judge, and he's got Alfred as his witness to watch this ceremony. They're gonna get married on a rooftop, because that's how they do it, okay? Fine, I can go for that. And Selina goes off to get Holly Robinson to be her maid of honor, you know? And Holly Robinson is like her little it's like her little adoptive-esque kid sister thing, you know? So she gets her to come along. But then Holly starts mentioning certain things. Like, starts mentioning, like, how, well, Batman needs to be miserable to be good at his job. She keeps saying this thing, you know, like, different words, but it all revolves around the thing that Batman needs misery to be a good hero. And the dumbest thing I could say about this comic is it fucking works to Selena. Like, she suddenly believes it, and she leaves his ass at the altar with the fucking Dear John letter saying that he needs his misery to be a good Batman. Is that if he's happy, he can't be a good hero. And then at the very end of the comic book, Holly Robinson goes back to like Blackgate or wherever the fuck it is, and there's Bane, who basically had told her to say all this shit to Selena to like break Batman down emotionally. And it's like, but the thing is, it's not even just that. Like, I could understand if it was like Bane doing stuff in the behind the scenes, you know, and it shows off to his character. Like, okay, he's not a big brute, just a big brute. He's a tactician, you know. He's a thinker. Okay, he's a good person that can match Batman. But the problem is, I'm not fond of how Selena just immediately registers all the shit that Holly says to her and just straight up believes it. And there was immediate backlash, because here's the thing: the ending was spoiled a week earlier by the New York fucking Times. The New York fucking Times. Okay, now let me tell you how fucked up that went. Okay, because I went around watching videos about how this affected people. There was a YouTube channel, I forgot what the name of it was, but it was basically this guy who used to work at a comic book shop, and he went on to explain how comic book shops and like variant covers, for those who are not familiar, variant covers are when they have an entirely different cover on the comic book that isn't the same as the normal one. He told me, he said in the video, that you have to buy a certain number of normal comic book covers to get the variant. And so if you want to sell off the variant, you gotta buy a good chunk of them. So he explained that this would affect comic books shops who probably spent a good chunk of money to get the variants, who now can't really sell them if the fucking New York Times just leaks out the ending to Batman 50 a week in advance. It's just like no one wants to go watch it, read it, or anything. It's like if I tell you what happens at the fucking Empire Strikes Back, if you've never seen it and I tell you the fucking ending, you're not gonna go want to watch it. It's like if I go tell you like what the fuck happened in Spider-Man Homecoming, or who fucking got slapped or whatever, you're not gonna go watch it because you were spoiled. You don't want to watch it. It ruins the thing. Like, you don't want to watch it because then you immediately already know. And it's like, okay, then that fucking happened. And then we have this whole thing going on. Yeah, this whole drastic thing. Like, they try to do all these, like, kind of like the after bit to try to... It barely addresses, like, Batman's, like, mentality when he's, like, dealing with the after effects of this. Okay, it barely touches upon it. Then we get to... I forget what issue it was, but I know it was around the... I know it was around the 60s, so... It was somewhere around there. But yeah, freaking... Batman winds up finding Alfred in the cave, knocked down, and Batman's like trying to ask him who did it, and then Alfred's just like, it was your dad. And then standing right behind Bruce is Flashpoint Batman, who was seen in Batman 50 as being someone who is supporting Bane. We were never explained how this works. We were never explained why he is here in this universe, because we'd last seen him in that mini little startup event of Batman and Flash in The Button, the last time we ever saw him. But now he's here in the Prime universe. We don't know why. And then at the end of the comic, you're thinking, okay, there's gonna be this next issue, there's gonna be this epic like battle, this whole intense story. This next issue, Batman wakes up captured by Professor fucking Pig. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You just gonna completely neglect, like, Flashpoint Batman being there, and maybe Bruce would have, like, a million questions to ask, like, how the fuck are you alive? Because I saw you get evaporated. Like, why are you working with Bane? Why are you working with a criminal? You kill criminals. And it's like, it doesn't make sense. But they don't even address it. Like, and then they do this dumbass, like, 6-part dream sequence and shit. That's just like a fucking horrible reminder of all this dumb shit that's been pulled off in Tom King's run. And then we don't even get on to address, like, the other stuff. We wind up with a fucking 4-part crossover with Flash dealing with some repercussions from another shitty storyline called Heroes in Crisis. You know, I mean, that's a whole other thing in of itself. You know, we get to dealing with all of that, and then it's just like nothing is substantial occurs from that. Nothing. You know, so that goes on, and then it's like, then it just, the story suddenly feels like things just keep leaping and jumping. You know, and then Tom King does a recreation of Nightfall with Batman's back getting broken again. Because sure, let's do the one thing Bane is only good at apparently, is breaking Batman's back. Because that's fucking... Never mind. I need to calm down. This is not a Buggy rant. Because that's fucking original, right? You know, that just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. Why do you need to do that again? Like, it once is good enough, but everybody keeps trying to recreate it. Like, it's gonna have some impact. It's like, no, because when you put on Bane, you're gonna wind up with that 85% of people are gonna thinking, okay, are they gonna try to recreate the backbreaker thing? Because it's like, it's already, like, kind of overdone at this point. It's like, one time was good, but if you keep bringing it up, it just doesn't work. You know? So it's like, let's finish all that off. Okay? Now we're trying to get on the other issues. Like, we're trying to figure out, like, you know, why, some background to it. But we're never given it. We get, like, some weird, really, really weird-ass scenes of Flashpoint Batman and Bane wrestling when they're half naked. I don't know why that's a thing. Like, why did you do that? Please don't do that. Never, ever. I needed bleach for that. So, thank you, Tom King, you fucking asshole. But, you know, then, like as I said, Tom King has this weird thing where the comics suddenly start feeling like you're missing something. Like, there's some elements or story parts you're missing. And it's not because you missed an issue. Like, you can read the whole fucking thing and you'd still feel like you missed something. It's like you're watching a TV show and you missed one episode, but that episode has something important and you don't even know what the fuck it is. And here's the problem. I got all the issues, so I don't even know what the fuck I'm supposed to be missing. It's like Tom King, what are you doing? Like, you have to understand, for the casual fan, this is a pain in the ass. Even for the normal fan, I mean, or not a normal fan, a super fan, like me, like, this is ridiculous, because it's like, I'm trying to analyze every aspect of the comic book to see what you're gonna do. But I can't do that if you make me feel like an idiot because I missed something. You know, and you purposely do that. Okay? Like, we were supposed to be on a whole thing about Batman and his father. You know, that was a big thing, you know, but then I don't even get any resolution to that after fucking 15 issues, okay? Nearly a fucking couple months after this. I don't even get any resolution to that. I just get a whole thing of all this happening, and then Batman is off in fucking Paris because he's recovering, and Selena Kyle is there helping him out. You know, and that's a good thing. Okay, I'm glad. It means something's gonna get fixed. I'm happy with that. Then Batman issue 77 comes in, the latest issue that has came out at the time of this recording. And, you know, at this time, Bane has control of the entire city. He's got a bunch of supervillains working for him. You know, he's got Psycho Pirate that's, like, controlling everybody, like Zaz, Riddler, you know, Scarecrow and all that, and they're all, like, running the city. Like, they're basically letting all the villains in, and they're basically kicking all the superheroes out. They're like telling superheroes to not walk in. You know, it's no man's land again. And the government is just fine with it because it means like, hey, all the criminals are going to come over here, and as long as we abide by it, it works. And he has a warning to the Bat family that if any of you guys come in here, I will kill Alfred because he is my hostage. Okay, all this goes down. Damian Wayne is like, fuck that, I'm gonna go take him down myself. So he goes in, he gets captured by Flashpoint Batman, and then right in front of him, Bane just walks up to Alfred and just snaps his neck, and it's like, what the fuck? And the thing is, it doesn't have the impact that it should. It's like, in reality, it should be like, oh fuck, Bane just killed Alfred. Like, holy fuck, you killed Alfred. But it doesn't have that impact because I never see fucking Alfred in the situation. I never see him brought around. Okay, I don't see him being held or talking to Bane or Flashpoint Batman or anybody prior to this. Therefore, it has no impact. You can't just suddenly bring the guy along and then just kill him. It's like if I brought a fucking new character all of a sudden and then all he does is just fucking die. It's like there's no build up. There's no forewarning to it. And it's like, it doesn't have that impact. So, therefore, I have to assume that this doesn't make sense. Like, this is not a real thing. Because, of course, it's fucking Tom King. He's probably gonna see the reactions, rewrite some bullshit. Plus, there was like 8 villains in there that had mind-altering capabilities. Mad Hatter, Psycho Pirate, fucking Scarecrow. I could believe any one of them manipulated Damian into seeing that, okay? That makes sense. But it just doesn't. You know, and you can't kill Alfred like that. There has, like, if you're gonna kill off a character like that, you have to do it right. You have to make it work, okay? You can't just kill off a character just to, like, make a shock value. You have to make it work for the story. Game of Thrones did this just fine. You know, that was their big thing, because they could kill off the main characters. But when they did it, they made it work, okay? For the most part. They made it work. And then it just, I don't know. And it makes me actually just wish for the day when issue 85 comes out. That means that's the last fucking issue of the main Batman storyline that fucking Tom King is gonna do. And then after he's done with that, and done with the DC, done with the Batman Catwoman 12-issue series, he's gonna be off Batman for now. And that's good. Because, fuck. He started out okay, but then as soon as it got to 39, shit hit the fan. Shit started hitting the fan. And that's why. Because Tom King just doesn't really fucking care. Like, he says all this shit. I mean, he was on fucking talk shows and shit talking about the comic book. Like, when has that ever been a thing? When is comic book writers coming on to fucking late night talk shows to talk about comic books? When the fuck has a comic book ever gone so goddamn mainstream like that? That the fucking comic book writer is gonna pop up with the fucking comic and talk about all that? When has that ever happened? Not anywhere else that I can remember, at least. But, you know, that's just it. Tom King, he started off good. He had a good run, good story. But then just at 39, it just dropped. You know, and that was the first sign that something was off. That something wasn't going to work. Then issue 50, it just really became apparent to everybody that he really was bullshitting to us. That he lied for 2 whole years. This went on for 2 whole years. But, you know, that's all I gotta say about it. I've taken your time long enough as it is. So, I'm just gonna say, thank you for listening to me, ramble on about this. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and maybe you guys can give me your own thoughts and critiques on Tom King's run of Batman. Or maybe if you would just want me to talk about other comic books in the works, I could do that. Maybe it could be a new series. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, thank you all for coming along to this and listen to me ramble, rant off a bit. But yeah, I'll see you guys all later.